Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video because this is actually a video suggestion from one of you guys. Patty, hey Patty, recently suggested that I do a video on kind of my go-to makeup look for the summertime when I want to look put together but I'm just not feeling it, when I just either don't have the time or the energy to really put into like a full glam kind of makeup look. This idea totally resonated with me because this is how I feel 95% of the time in the summertime. Summer is so busy. I forget every year how busy summertime is. I feel like I'm torn in a million different directions. Those of you that have children, especially if your children are a little bit older, can probably relate to this. It's just a busy time. Sometimes I have only 5 or 10 minutes to put my makeup on, but I also want it to last all day long. So that is what we are going to be doing today. I'm going to share with you guys kind of my go-to summertime makeup look. Something that's going to be easy, it's going to be quick, but it's also going to last. Hope that you guys are excited about this one. Any of you that are new, welcome to my channel. I hope that you'll stick around, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and with that said, let's get some makeup on. First tip for summertime, make sure you're wearing your SPF. Yes, mom. But truly, guys, that is the first thing that I do pretty much all year round, but especially in the summertime, I put a good solid layer of SPF on before I start the whole makeup process. So I've already done my moisturizer, I've already done my SPF. We're gonna jump right in with foundation. Now in the summertime, I want a foundation that's going to last through the heat. If I am in and out of the outdoors and it's really hot outside, I am going to sweat a little bit. I want my foundation to last. So the foundation that I have found to last the best on me is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. This one is too light for me right now. I really do need to pick up a new shade of this. Well, I have a lot of foundations that I'm working through, so I don't really need to pick up a new shade of this, but I actually do need to combine this with something else. I'm only combining it for purposes of shade matching. I'm going to combine it with the Becca Aqualuminous foundation. I just took about almost a pump of each of those and I just kind of combine them on the back of my hand. Then I'm taking my damp Real Techniques sponge and I'm just going to kind of start going straight onto my face with my sponge. So I did recently mention in my June favorites video that this foundation can be a tad drying on my skin if I don't prep it really well or combine it with something that's a little bit more hydrating. I was surprised at how many of you guys agreed that it can be a little bit drying. I think if you have naturally dry skin, it can be a little bit of an issue. Just make sure that you apply an extra layer of moisturizer or combine this with something a little bit more dewy, like this Becca one. The Flower Beauty one is a really good hydrating foundation that I like to combine that one with. So I just kind of throw that on really quickly. I don't fuss too much with it. Like I just kind of try to do an even layer. I start where I need the most coverage and then I just shear it out very, very quickly. I find a sponge or my hands work best to do that with. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of concealer. Today I'm going to take this concealer. This is relatively new to me. This is the Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Concealer. I am not super familiar with this one yet. This is a kind of a newer one to me, but the shade match of this one is really, really good. And so far, the few times that I've used it, I've been really happy with it. So I'm just applying that to any areas that I need a little bit of extra coverage. And I'm just taking that same sponge that I have on hand and just tapping that in. So when I'm in a hurry, I only conceal this little part of my under eye area just because I don't have very intense under eye circles. So I don't want to go overboard on the concealer. I want it to be pretty not only lightweight in the amount that I'm putting on, but also the more you put on, the more time it takes to blend it out. So really only put concealer where you absolutely need it. So after I've done that, if you have oily skin or if you have even normal skin, I definitely would probably selectively set down some of your foundation. My skin is quite dry, so I don't really need to set it down. So next up, I want to do a little bit of powder setting and then I'm going to do my highlight and my bronzer. Because in this situation, I am in a bit of a hurry, I like to pick a palette that has all of those things together. So I'm going to show you guys two options. This one I talked about recently in my favorites video. This is from CoverFX. This is their Perfector Face Palette. This is such a great palette. It does have a finishing powder in here. It has highlights, has bronzer, and it even has a blush if you want to be extra and go in with a blush, which we're not actually going to do today. Great palette. Highly recommend this one. But I have another one that I'm going to suggest to any of you that are a little more budget conscious, that are looking for something from the drugstore. This one right here, I picked up from Walmart about a month ago. This is from Profusion. I've talked a couple of times about their products before. This is their highlight and contour palette. It has a finishing powder in here, which I think would really only work on you if you're light to fair skin toned. If you have a medium to deep skin tone, there's no way that this is going to work on you. But it does have two really great matte bronzers in here and also has a couple of highlights. So we're going to use this thing today because, again, I like something if I'm in a hurry that's kind of a one-stop shop. So I'm going to start off by going into this bronzer right here. One more tip for you guys. If you're in a hurry and if it is summertime and you are a little bit more tan, if your face is about a shade or two darker than it is in the middle of the winter, I recommend going in with a bronzer that's a little bit darker because, number one, it's going to go on much more quickly. You don't have to build it up, but also it's going to just show up a little bit better on your tanned skin. So I'm going to take the darker shade in here. And you can see how quickly that gives me definition and color. It really does not take long at all. And these are really great powders. I love the formula of the Profusion face powders. Both their highlights and their bronzers I think are really nice. I think they have good pigment, but they're also really easy to blend. They last decently well on the skin. I've been really impressed with, I have about 2 or 3 palettes from them, and I have been impressed with all of them so far. I take just a tiny bit more and just go underneath my chin and kind of down onto my neck. I just love doing this because I feel like it ties my face makeup into the rest of my body, just using what's left on my brush and kind of just taking that down my neck just a little bit. There you have it. Super fast, super easy. Now let's go into the highlights in here. These highlights are a little bit intense, so if you are very sensitive to intense highlights, if you have a lot of texture on your skin, these might not be the best for you. You may want to pick something that's a little bit more appropriate for your skin texture, but I do think these are beautiful highlights, and I do find that they can be blended out a little bit. So even though they go on a little bit more intensely, I'm going to take this center pink kind of shade right here, put that on the tip of my nose and on the top of my nose. And then I'm going to combine this kind of pink and this sort of bronzy champagne, and we're going to take that just right here on my cheekbones. So I personally, if I'm wanting to look nice but look like naturally kind of just summery and glowy and beautiful and I don't want to take a lot of time, I love a good amount of highlighter. I almost think because we're going to be doing minimal eye makeup, I think that you can go a little bit more heavy-handed with your highlighter. Again, if you're a highlighter person, if you like highlight and you don't worry about texture on your skin. Obviously, the more intensely you highlight, the more you have to be careful or cautious about areas that can kind of show texture. So you just want to keep that in mind. And honestly, if you're someone that has a lot of texture, say here by your under eye area, try highlighting your brow bone. Like, there are other places that you can highlight that don't show texture that will also give you kind of that glow. Your brow bone, the bridge of your nose, the tip of your nose, your cupid's bow, although honestly my cupid's bow actually does have quite a bit of fine lines on it, but keep that in mind. You don't necessarily have to have your intense highlighter just be on the top of your cheekbone. You can highlight other things as well. So before I put that face palette away, I am going to take my Morphe M504 brush. We're going to take that darker bronzer, and this is going to be my kind of defining shade in my eye, my crease shade today. I'm just taking that really loosely on this blending brush. Whoa, that might be a little bit too much. I actually didn't mean to apply that much. As you can see, this shade is quite dark, but we're just going to kind of go with it. I am going to be putting something on top of my lid. Thankfully, it blends out easily. And I always like just taking that same brush and kind of closing my eye and just really lightly running it also along that bottom outer corner, which is going to just kind of give you that sort of soft shape right there and give you a little bit of definition down below. All right, so now that I have some bronzer in my crease, I do want to apply something on my lid that's going to be a little bit shimmery and bring a little bit of life and light and reflectiveness back to my lids. To do this, because I didn't use an eyeshadow primer today and I do have eyelids that do crease a little bit, I want to use a liquid eyeshadow. I want to use something that's going to set down and that's going to stay in place and not budge. The couple of options that I have actually both been discontinued, are kind of difficult to find if you don't already own them. This one right here is from Jordana. This is their Made to Last liquid shadow. This one's in the color Forever Sand, which is kind of just a very basic sort of champagne, like shimmery champagne color. I'm thinking I'm going to use that one today. I also have these two right here. These are the Essence Metal Shock liquid eyeshadows. I cannot believe they are discontinuing these. I think these are incredible. I think they are as good, if not better, than the Stila ones that I own. So sad to me that they're discontinuing these. Some of these brands that come out with these really affordable products, That's one thing that drives me crazy. They so often get discontinued so quickly. But if you don't have those, I have heard that Maybelline recently has come out with more of their Tattoo Studio liquid pot eyeshadows. I guess they're like cream pots, but those are fantastic. They really set down. Haven't tried their new colors or their new formula, but a lot of people have spoke very highly of it. I've also heard that CoverGirl has come out with some shadow sticks that are supposed to kind of set down and stay in place. I would recommend going with a product like that. So today I'm going to go in with this one. This is the Jordana liquid eyeshadow in the color Forever Sand. I'm just going to take this and put it directly onto my eyelid, and then I'm going to take my ring finger and just gently tap that in. And I like to also pull it in to my inner corner a little bit as well. And with a clean finger, I like to buff out this edge right here. I actually don't like my shimmer to go all the way over to the very edge of my eye. I like it to go only about a little over halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way over. I just like to keep this side kind of matte and smoky looking. Now this eye, again, just kind of tap that on. It's a little over halfway and pull it right onto that inner corner a little bit as well. These are so great. They set down in the perfect amount of time. They give you enough time to blend them out, but they set down relatively quickly. So once you've kind of tapped them out, they're set. They're not going to move. They're going to last all day. They're not going to crease. Super simple, super easy, but very pretty. So before we move on to the rest of the eyes, we're going to just throw something in my brows. If I am in a hurry, you can probably guess which product I'm going to select for my brows. It is the e.l.f. brow pencil. I know that I use this thing and talk about this thing all the time, but truly, if I need to just throw something in my brows, this is what is going to go in them, because it's just so fast. Now, I don't think this is going to give you a fantastic, precise, or even feathery Instagram sort of brow, but if you're just looking for something to get the job done, this is the type of product that will do that for you. And then to set those in place, I'm just going to take this. This is just the e.l.f. Clear Brow Mascara, which is not the best, like, all-day hold kind of brow mascara, but it works pretty good considering it's very easy to put in. I like the ones that have a little bit of pigment to them, but they are a little bit more fussy. They take a little bit more time to put in. This one, you just can kind of throw it in without even looking and be done. Now moving into the rest of the eyes. I do want to add a little bit of liner. I typically add liner unless I am in an extreme hurry. I almost always add a little bit of liner, and if I want my liner to last, the one that I'm going to pick is this one right here. This is from LA Girl. This is their Ultimate Intense Wear Auto Liner. I know I've talked about this thing before, but this is basically my beloved Wet n Wild liner in a long wear version. Definitely lasts a little bit longer, and it also doesn't have to be sharpened. This is a great liner if you're looking for something that's going to last a little bit longer, that's going to last through the heat, and it's not going to transfer down onto your lower lash line. This is such a great one. This is in Lasting Brown. I always love using a brown pencil. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to line my upper waterline. If you are someone that doesn't always line your waterline, that's why some people don't line their waterline, because stuff like that can happen and ruin your eyeshadow. Dang it. So I just really quickly line my waterline, and then I take that pencil just at the outer corner and just kind of wing it a little bit, just to give myself like a little bit of like a smudgy wing. I like doing this because I think that it gives your eyes a little bit of shape. It kind of lifts your eyes. It's like a mini eye lift. I almost always line my eyes mainly for that reason, because I feel like it just gives my eyes a more attractive shape. You could also, if you really want to, take just a tiny bit of that on this outer corner if you're wanting a little bit more definition. This is optional. But sometimes I'll add just a little bit of that right into those lashes. Nothing too harsh, but just so you can kind of see a little bit of definition. And that's it for liner. Now let's move into mascara. So mascara, I like to avoid using waterproof mascara unless I truly know that I need it. Like if I'm watching a baseball game, or I'm taking pictures at a baseball game, or taking pictures outside and I know my eyes water intensely when I do either of those things. But if I'm just out and about running errands, I basically want a mascara that's not waterproof but is kind of water resistant. And two that I really like for this are this one right here. This is the collab one that I've talked quite a bit about recently. This one's really good at not running or smudging or flaking. It does still wash off easily, but it's very slightly watery eye kind of proof. That might have been the worst description ever, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Another one that is really good for water resistance is this one right here. This is the Essence Volume Stylist. Again, this one actually is a little bit difficult to take off, but it's very water resistant. For today, I'm going to go in with my Collab mascara. It's not like the most dramatic mascara, but I think for an everyday kind of summer look, I don't really want the most dramatic eyelashes. Just something kind of soft and easy and just defining. Just a little bit defining, a little bit lengthening. And that's exactly what this mascara is perfect for. If you like something that's moderately lengthening, that's moderately volumizing, and moderately separating, that's what this mascara does. It's like a Your Lashes but better kind of mascara, if that makes sense. So last thing is lips. So I typically will not do my lips while I'm doing my makeup. I usually have something in my purse or my car just for this purpose. And I typically will reach for a gloss that has quite a bit of color in it. That's going to give me a little bit of color. It's going to give me some shine. And I have a couple recommendations for you guys. So this one right here, this is from Wet n Wild. This is probably one that I'm going to be using today. This is their Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick. I know I've talked about this one before, but this truly is the perfect combination of a gloss and a lipstick. It gives you really good color, but it gives you a little bit of shine, gives you a little bit of fullness. Another one I love is the NYX Butter Glosses. These have quite a bit of color to them, they give you a lot of color on your lips. If you're looking for something that's just going to be easy to put on, you don't have to be looking in the mirror while you do it. These are fantastic for that. And the last is this one right here. This is the Lorac Alter Ego Lip Gloss. Actually, let's try this one on. This is in the color Duchess, which is kind of like almost like a mauve nude. You can see that these have quite a bit of color to them. These are beautiful glosses. They smell so good, like vanilla cake. Which, speaking of, we celebrated my husband's birthday last night, and I made him a white cake. Pillsbury white cake mix. The best white cake ever, in case you were wondering. So there it is. There it is with the gloss. We are all ready to go. This is my perfect, gonna last all day. Didn't take me very long. Truly, if I was doing this without the camera rolling, this probably would take me about 5 minutes to do this makeup look. Just very simple, very easy, but I know this is going to hold up. I know it's going to look good all day long, and I feel nice and put together. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully it was helpful for you guys. Please let me know what products you guys love to reach for when you're looking for something that's going to last, but it's going to be really easy. What's your kind of go-to summer makeup product? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Thank you, Patty, for the video recommendation. As always, I love hearing your guys' video recommendations. I have a list of them. I keep them in a list, so don't be shy. Leave me those recommendations down below. I love hearing your guys' ideas. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you again for joining me. If you are new here, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye. So many of you guys kind of concurred to is that the right way to use that word? Concur? I concur, right? If you have dry skin, you definitely want to probably set this in place. No, if you have oily skin, backwards, Mandy. And that is all I have for you guys. And that is all I have for you guys today.